Hello there, fishy friends. This is the Aqua student, and I've finally gotten a break from my schoolwork, so I thought I'd send a video your way. Last week, I took a trip over to Massachusetts with the Pioneer Valley Aquarium Society. We visited a bunch of local fish stores, a wholesaler. It was a great time. And on the trip, I was able to pick up a couple of my all-time favorite fish. I'm very excited to finally keep them. I kept them a few years ago, but haven't been able to keep them since I've been here in Albany. I had a 2.5 gallon laying around, which is just perfect for them. They couldn't go into any of my current setups, but I was considering putting a tank on my desktop, either here or in my office at school, so I have some options to move them around, but these guys would be an absolute perfect candidate for this tank. Before we get started with the Aquascape in the tank, I want to let you guys know that I've been invited to be on Aqua Alex's Aquatic Wetline radio show tomorrow, starting at 8 Eastern Standard Time. There's a link in the description below. I would love to have you guys stop by and listen in. We'll be having a nice little interview, chit-chat going back and forth. So go ahead and check it out. Check out the link in the description below. Let's go ahead and get started with the Aquascape. Here we have the blank canvas which we'll be working with today. It's a 2.5 gallon aquarium measuring a foot wide, 6 inches deep, and 8 inches tall. It's not a lot of room to aquascape with, but it should be good enough for what we're trying to do. I've got already a nice piece of quartz in there, and in one of my other tanks, a beautiful piece of manzanita. I think it'll be a nice combination and keep it elegant and simple. So hopefully popping out a little bit here is the centerpiece of the aquarium. There's two male Scarlet Badis in there. The scientific name of them is Dario. Now these are probably my absolute favorite fish that I've ever had experience with. They get to maybe an inch in size, so that's why they're alright for a 2.5 gallon tank, a very small tank. Most small tanks really aren't suitable for fish and are best kept or left for invertebrates like shrimp or snails, but these Dario should be doing just great in here. Now, the reason I like these guys so much is their color is absolutely unmatched. They've got a red-blue pearlescence that's stellar and amazing to look at. It depends on the angle you look at them. They just have a gorgeous shimmer to them. They're also very shy fish, a little bit jumpy, but very cool to be around. For such a small fish, they will actually interact with you, which is very neat. They're very finicky on food, so you usually have to feed frozen foods or live foods. I've been feeding these guys mostly black worms. I also have some Ken's Golden Pearls. It's basically an imitation baby brine shrimp. I've had success feeding them with those later on. Now, because these guys are so shy, they're really not all that good for a community tank. Anything that's a little bit more aggressive would either pick on them or take the food before they'll have a chance to feed on it. And so that's why I think they're better off in a species-only tank, and this 2.5 gallon is absolutely perfect for them. Now for filtration, I'm going to be running a sponge filter for now. I might upgrade to a hang on the back, but I think a sponge filter will be more than adequate for this. I'm going to be heavily planting this. I also have a nice plant of pothos growing out of the top, so that'll be a nice addition for a desktop aquarium. It can grow off the ambient light, and the roots hanging down not only will give the Scarlet Badis some shelter and a little bit more security, but it'll also help remove any of the nitrates that might be building up, which helps with maintenance, of course. Now for substrate, I'll be going with some black sand. That way I'll hopefully be able to keep the fish as the centerpiece of the tank. I don't want anything to be distracting on the bottom, so just nice simple black sand will tie in everything to the tank all nicely. Originally this tank was going to be a photography tank. That way I could put whatever fish that I wanted to showcase into the tank, and because of the solid black background, I'd be able to get much better shots of them. Since it's also a smaller tank, I can get up nice and close to them. But I think this black background and small tank would be perfect for these Scarlet Badis. Now for the greenery, I've got some Java moss in there now. I think there's a few Java ferns mixed into that Java moss. That'd be good for a nice low light tank. Since I'm not going to be putting any sort of canopy on this, I'll be relying on whatever ambient light's going on in the room, anything that might drift in from the windows, even though it's not really going to be in front of a window, or what's coming off of my desk lamp. Next segment, now that I know generally where I want to put the hardscape, I have some Java moss that I'm going to attach to the driftwood. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to spread it out over the top side of the driftwood. I'm going to fasten it down using some fishing line. It's just some small end 1.7 pound test line, so nothing too thick. It should go on nice and easy. The trickiest part is, since it's so thin, tying it off. And just like that, I now have a wonderful piece of nature to distract me from being productive. Thank you all very much for watching, and please tune in tomorrow, Sunday, October 12th at 8 Eastern Standard Time, to the Aquatic Wetline Radio, where I'll be interviewed by Mr. Aqua Alex himself. Thank you guys very much, and fish on.